So welcome back, and welcome to this video, which will give an introduction to the three phonemes that are represented by the grapheme ED. So the grapheme ED turns a verb into the past tense. For example, if we take the verb jump and add an ED, we have the past tense verb jumped. Yesterday he jumped over the fence. ED can be confusing for students because this one grapheme represents three different phonemes. T, which is usually represented with a T, D, which is usually represented with a D, and then ed, so that ED combination together. So let's look at some examples of words and think about which of these sounds is being represented by that grapheme ED in each of these. So the words that I've selected to play with first are ragged, spilled, passed, floored, whisked, and highlighted. So pause the video for a moment and try to figure out which phoneme is ED representing in each of these words. Alright, so let's see how you did figuring out which phoneme is being represented by ED in each of the following words. So our first word is ragged, and that would be the ED or the ed sound being represented. Spilled, just the D sound. Passed, that T sound. Floored, D sound. Whisked, that T. And then highlighted, the ed sound. So as you can see, when you're thinking about teaching students this grapheme, you really need to consider explicit teaching of the three phonemes that are attached to that. Why does it matter? Well, students who are trying to decode a text may become very frustrated because that grapheme ED represents those multiple phonemes. And so they may actually have to try multiple phonemes to find the one that sounds correct. Students who are trying to encode a text may become frustrated for exactly the same reason, and they may have to play with the spelling to see what makes sense. But giving students explicit instruction in the fact that that ED grapheme represents past tense in verbs will help students to understand when they need to add that ED, even if the sound they're hearing at the end of the word is the T or D sound. And then making sure to give students exposure to words in context using this grapheme will support students in decoding and encoding words with that ED grapheme. So this is just a short introduction. We're going to play with this some more in class. So please come to class with any questions you have about the content of this presentation, and be ready to complete activities related to this information in our next class meeting. Thanks for watching.